Pronunciation Pro.
Pronunciation Pro.
Hello and welcome to the Pronunciation Pro podcast. My name is Annie Rudin, and today we are going to talk about change and changing your speech habits, changing your technology habits, changing your routines, and all the benefits of doing this, and really the consequences if we don't change and adapt. Okay. So here at Pronunciation Pro, we have been doing a lot of changing lately. And this in February 2025 is going to be the last month we are on this current system that we have been using. And over the last 15 years, as I've been teaching accent training, we have had to change technology probably 4 different times. This is probably the biggest change that we've done. And it's exciting. And it's new because it's going to be such an upgrade to what we've been doing before, and will allow a lot more growth and a lot more development of new programs. So what we're doing is we're moving on to a new platform, which requires everyone, all the members of our program, to re-enroll onto this new program. So if you're not a member and you haven't been getting my emails as of late, I would say get onto that, because we're offering a very, very special discount of the program, but only for the month of February. So I definitely want you to get access to that. And if you're not on our mailing list, go ahead and email me at Annie, ANNIE, at pronunciationpro.com. And I'll make sure that you get that discount. Okay, so we're encouraging all of our students to move on over so that we can build off of that. So why would we make such a big change? Well, it's because we are working to integrate the AI aspect. AI has become a big factor for change in all businesses and in basically all areas of life these days. And so we're building off that AI system, and we're integrating a new assessment piece, an AI assessment, which I've been working on for the last year. It's a very customized, very specific to Pronunciation Pro, and it's going to be very powerful. So I'm really excited about that. We are also going to an app version, okay, so that you can access everything very, very easily from your phone. And that will be something that the training that you can do on the go. We've had it somewhat on the phone, but mostly desktop as of the last several years, or all the years, I guess. So now we have an app version, and it's so slick, it's so easy to use, and it'll be great. We also have a community piece to the Pronunciation Pro program. Very excited about this. We'll be growing that community piece a little bit more, or a lot more, over the coming months, but that will be a very exciting part of this. Okay, lots of change, lots of good things, and there's also other ideas of integrating another AI practice app with our program. So a lot of big things happening, and so you're not going to want to miss being a part of Pronunciation Pro this year. Okay, so if you're not already a member, definitely jump in. Let's you can go to pronunciationpro.com, and if you sign up there for either the 7-day trial or yearly membership or the Plus or Premier, it will all be going to our new system. So I invite you to come join us in this big change. Okay, so let's talk about you and change. How good are you at changing or reinventing yourself? Reinventing yourself basically just means that you're not changing who you are, but you're changing the way you go about things. Okay, you're evolving to meet the new challenges that are ahead of you. Okay, so how good are you at changing to the problems in front of you? Is there a lot of resistance to it? Are you wishing it weren't the case? Are you kind of in denial about it? or resisting that change in any way? Or are you open to change and looking for ways to change? This is very much either falls into like a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. So I want to encourage you to have more of that growth mindset and say, okay, change is going to happen. Okay, I can resist it, but that's not going to do me any good. Or I can embrace it and I can seek out this change so that I can continually reinvent myself so I'm ready and evolving to meet the new challenges that are ahead of me. Okay. Reinvention can be very uncomfortable, but it's absolutely necessary for progress, for growth, to stay ahead of things. Okay. Because life is constantly changing. If you don't adapt, you will be left behind. So, with my business, the only reason I feel like I've been able to stay in the game and my business stay alive through the 15 years is because of this constant adaptation that's happening, constantly changing, constantly growing. Now, in the 15 years, I've probably been through 4 different technology updates. And this one is by far the biggest one that we have done, which is really exciting. And it's really fun to be able to give you the latest and greatest in accent training, in American accent training. And I love being able at the forefront of that technology. Okay. So you can see examples of reinvention throughout history, throughout business, individuals, and even your road is full of reinvention. So I want you to think through your own life, and maybe that's been small changes over time. Maybe there's been points in your life where there's been a huge change. So many of my students, it's the moment they move to an English speaking country or to the US, that was a huge reinvention of themselves because they had to change language and culture and country, environment, everything changed. So it really felt like a huge reinvention of themselves. Okay, so that might be that point that you look at. Now, if it's been a while since that's happened, you may see other changes that you've made or things that you've done to stay up on what all the problems or the challenges that are ahead of you so that you can keep evolving. Now, just the fact that you're looking into or you're currently in the Pronunciation Pro program shows me that you're reinventing yourself yet again. Okay, learning the American accent is a way for you to adapt to your changing world. You're realizing, oh, I need to grow in my English development. I need to make sure people can clearly understand me. I need to speak up more in meetings. I need to go after that job or that promotion, and I'm feeling stuck right now. So I need to do something to reinvent myself so that I'm ready for that next challenge, or I'm ready for this challenge that I want to step into. Okay, so that's where we are here at this, point in your life, is we're giving you the skills to be able to reinvent yourself. Okay, so let's first talk about, it's really uncomfortable to change, right? It's really uncomfortable to change the way that you're speaking. A lot of my students feel like when they're learning the sounds and the rhythm of American English, they're feeling like they're mocking Americans. But in reality, it's really creating a familiar way of speaking for native English speakers. So you are speaking in a way that's familiar and natural for native speakers to hear. Okay, so it's not mocking, it's just adapting. And your brain will resist these changes. Okay, that is definitely going to happen. You're going to resist it. Your brain's going to say, no, stay quiet. Don't make these changes. It's safer here. But we need to, say, okay, sorry, brain. It's okay for me to grow and adapt. I won't, this is not dangerous. It is actually important for me, or I will be left behind. Okay. I've seen time and time again our students facing this challenge of like, okay, I better adapt or die. And not literally die, but my career is going to die, or emotionally I feel like I'm going to die because I'm just feeling so stuck here. Okay. So let's talk about the benefits of reinventing yourself. Okay. So there's growth and relevance. Okay. You're going to stay relevant in your career. It keeps you competitive in your career, in your relationships, in your personal life, in your networking. So, so important. It's going to give you confidence and competence. Okay. You gain skills and open up new opportunities when you are reinventing and changing and up leveling the way that you speak. Okay. It will give you stronger connections. So whether it's in business or personal relationships, as you adapt, it helps you to connect better. So today I was just working with one of my students, and she's a nurse, and she was finding that her tone, and she's from China, her tone was a little bit more harsh, and she was sounding more commanding in the way that she was speaking to patients, and the patients were complaining. And she was getting this report from her manager. So we talked through it today, and I realized that, oh, her intonation is more commanding because it's falling at the end of yes or no questions instead of rising. So instead of, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? It's, we needed to adapt to, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Okay, that rising intonation creates more of a feeling of friendliness, or that you're personable, things like that. So just that one shift and that one change in her tone is going to help her connect better with her patients. Okay, another thing that we talked about is just some of these soft skills of communication, like, making sure that her patients are heard and understood by asking about their emotions and being curious about how they're feeling and what they're thinking, and being able to ask clarifying questions, and some other skills that we worked on during that one-on-one training. Okay, super important to have these skills and to be adapting her skills so that she can create stronger connections with her patients. Okay. Another benefit from reinventing yourself is the personal satisfaction. Okay. It avoids stagnation, where you just feel stuck, and it avoids boredom. Okay. A lot of times in our lives, we're just like, I feel so stuck. I want to grow, but I just don't know what to do. And as you do, grow, and you go through that discomfort, and you start working on your communication skills, start really working on your English, even though it's uncomfortable, it actually leads to greater satisfaction. Okay, so now let's talk about the consequences of avoiding change. Okay, we'll miss opportunities. You get stuck in old ways, and it really limits your career growth. Okay, you lose a lot of confidence. When you're feeling stuck, self-doubt will start to grow, and that really beats down your confidence. Okay, you'll feel like you're falling behind. Others who embrace change move forward, and while you are kind of remaining here, remaining stagnant or being left behind. Okay, we don't want to have that feeling of being left behind. And maybe you're feeling that right now, and you're like, no, it's finally time for me to do something about this. Okay. We see examples all over the place, but I do see, my students who are like, enough. I am so done and tired of, feeling like I'm not growing, or I'm not getting all the opportunities that I want and need. And when they finally decide it's time to do something about it, it's so fun, because it's like, great, let's get to work and let's make these changes so we can open up all those doors and opportunities for you. Okay. So how do we reinvent ourselves? Okay. Step one, you have to accept that discomfort is part of the process. Okay. So it's a mental shift. Okay. It is going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to resist it anymore. I'm going to accept this is part of the process, and I'm ready to get out of my comfort zone. Okay. Number two, you want to seek the learning that's needed and the mentorship that's needed to grow. So joining courses, getting coaches, reading, networking, seek out new experiences to help you learn and grow. Okay. You even coming to this podcast is you seeking learning and looking for that mentorship. Let's take it a step further and join Pronunciation Pro, where we have American trainers who are there to teach and guide and coach you through both the way you speak English and the way you are thinking about yourself and others in English, so you can build more confidence. Okay. Step 3, you have to experiment and practice. Okay. Small changes lead to big transformation. So you really need to commit and say, okay, for the next 6 months to a year, I'm really going to practice and experiment and get uncomfortable in this new way of doing things. And we're going to experiment, we're going to practice, we're going to keep going until we get the result that we want. Okay. And step number 4, commit to the new identity. Okay. You're putting on this way of speaking that has new sounds, it has a new rhythm. And, a term that we use a lot is fake it till you become it. Okay. Eventually, the way that this new way of speaking will become second nature to you. It will feel more comfortable. The more repetition we do, the more comfortable it will feel. Okay, there's a quote that I love, and I'll have to look up who it's from, but so sorry I don't have that right now. But it says, that which we persist in doing becomes easier, not because the nature of it has changed, but our ability to do it has increased. Okay, so the thing that we're working on, the more we work on it, the easier it will get. But that's because of the practice and training. It's not that the thing has changed. It's that our ability to do it has increased. Okay, so choose something and just say, I'm going to get good at that. Okay, American English, I'm going to get really good at that. I'm going to be an amazing communicator. Okay, I'm going to tackle this language and I am going to be so good at it. Okay, and say, I'm going to put on this new identity of I'm going to be an excellent English speaker. Okay, and then we're going to go for it. Okay, reinvention is a lifelong process. So let's embrace it rather than fear it. And I just want to leave you with this. The person you were before isn't meant to handle the challenges of tomorrow. Okay, so the person you were before isn't meant to handle the challenges of tomorrow. You have to become someone new. Okay? Where in your life do you need to reinvent yourself? I want you to ask yourself that. Where in your life do you need to reinvent yourself? The fact that you're here probably means that it might be in your communication skills. So what are you going to do today, right now, to start taking those steps necessary to reinvent yourself so that you can stay ahead of the game, that you can evolve, you can change with our changing world so that you'll be ready for those challenges that are ahead. Okay? Come join us at Pronunciation Pro. Would love to see you there. All right. Have a great one. Bye.
Pronunciation Pro.
Pronunciation Pro.